Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be breaking down how Leamonhead, one of the best Octanes that we've seen movement-wise, wins on Apex Legends. Let's talk about just the hot drop, shall we? Remember, we're going to pause, we're going to talk about things and break everything down. One of the biggest things is making sure you know where loot is. And this is also one of the biggest surprises that I have, is that know where guns are. When you drop hot, most people try to hit bins or they're confused on where loot is. Notice that Leamonhead went right for the center and he knew exactly where guns are going to be located in his POI. If you want to win, then you got to drop on a decent gun. If you don't get a good gun, you need to keep running. You need to keep running around and looking for it. So what we're going to learn from Leamonhead's gameplay today is really teach all of you how to improve. Oh, that's unfortunate, where somebody was essentially lagging out. And we're going to learn how to utilize this information when you push and when you engage. So that's going to be the theme. If you step away, I want you to learn when you're pushing. You notice here he's pushing whenever he has information, and he's using always movement to mitigate that damage. So he's always got the jump on them. He's always pretty much getting him in the back. He's always ensuring that he has the upper hand in these encounters. Now, if a teammate is distracting him, then he'll move in still. And you'll notice a lot of people are always caught out of position. Does it always interest you that streamers are catching out these opponents and they're shooting people in the back? It's because they're getting the jump on opponents. And that's the theme of today. How do you win? How do you win on Apex Legends? Well, it's getting the jump. There's a surprised opponent and they start backing up because they're like, oh gosh, I'm caught out of position. So at this point, you have them on the run. You always want to be, you know, no pun intended, the apex predator here. By getting the jump on them and surprising, there's another surprise using a little bit of movement coming from an angle that they don't expect. And even then, you'll notice like shooting in the back. You're heading him in the back. It's easy whenever an opponent gets caught out. And these players aren't bad. They're landing their shots. They're getting knocks, but you're surprising them. And that's the goal. You want to surprise your opponent. When you surprise them, then it's pretty much GG's at that point. And that's when you can use movement to surprise an opponent. And there you go. You surprise somebody again. He's low. Unfortunately, he wasn't able to. He got surprised because he got shot in the back. So here's another reverse roll, right? Now you're seeing how Leamonhead also had the same tactic work against him. Now all you got to do is run away, reposition. Repositioning is key. So when you reposition, you need to use movement to get away, you need to use speed, and you need to use doors, you need to use cover, you need to hide behind things until you get healthy, and then get right back into the action. When you get right back into the action, you need to push and play aggressive because timing is of the essence. You don't know when another team is going to third party or when they're going to push. That's also very important. So keep that in mind. Loot fast and don't window shop. You notice when Leamonhead goes into the box, he's only getting essentials. He's looking for armor. He's not necessarily stocking up on everything, right? He's keeping the fight to his opponents, essentially. And that's your goal. So if we recap here, make sure you shoot people in the back. You don't necessarily always want to go for a clean 1v1. You want to reposition, look for cover, look for doors. And whenever you get your loot and you win your fight, don't window shop. Now, you can be flashy, you can try to showcase your ego, maybe go for a finisher. I know Leamonhead likes to do a lot of that, but always being smart in terms of this is always key to improve. So I think Leamonhead, be sure to follow his channels, by the way. You're going to love his vibe. He's a great guy, great dude, great gameplay, and you're getting a lot here. And there's a lot to learn from his gameplay. And I think that's what people should appreciate more from Leamonhead, is just how smart he is at the game. And I'm sure him just hearing this is probably going to put a smile on his face, because whenever it's recognized, it goes a really long way. Smart decision making using utility like that to get people off doors, pretty big. It's knowing your utility so well. And if you don't know your utility, then try a legend to where you can and you don't have to think about it. Without hesitation, notice that there's not a whole lot of hesitating, right? There's no hesitating to get out of a fight, to get into a fight, and to when to utilize movement or utility. Now, what gets you eliminated is when you hesitate. You know, it's just like if you've watched Metal Gear Solid, you know, don't hesitate, soldier, shoot, soldier. You know, it sounds like a meme, but it's really true. Hesitation gets you eliminated, and by moving around and being tactful from positioning, you'll always net out ahead. And that's your goal, is to net out ahead. Now, in this series that we've been posting more on the channel, there is a lot of talking, so don't be surprised. You know, probably at this point, there's a lot of tips, and I encourage you guys to keep watching things through. Notice that he will go for his teammates' banners, you know, but he's always looking for the right opportunity, right? And getting away. Right now, he's getting away because he knows he can't win that encounter because it's not worth it anymore. Now it's time to rotate and reset. Now, with Apex being such a team-based game, it's very important to realize the value of your teammates. You can't just win everything by yourself, and it does help immensely by having teammates, whether they're good or bad. Teammates will always be able to be a net benefit, and not necessarily always a negative, right? One thing you notice here that he's doing is playing the door effectively, right? Goes for the swap whenever he can, whenever the opponent walks away from the door. And you'll notice the reason why he wins this is because his teammate also hesitated. His opponent did, essentially, sorry. So what you notice happened there is that his enemy hesitated on the door. Hesitation as a theme also gets you eliminated. So now they're going back for this team, and they're looking for a solid cleanup. Now, high damage, most individuals always say, well, then how do I win a 1v3? And it's a tough pill to swallow, but you have to do damage. If you don't do damage, then you're just not going to win your 1v3 and not create openings. So if you don't feel comfortable with the loadout, you don't feel comfortable utilizing a weapon, then you have to be comfortable with it. Comfortable to the point that you don't even think about it whenever you're in game. Now, unfortunately, when you're in game, you have to be very loose. You'll notice one thing with Leamonhead is that to win, he's very comfortable. And BRs are intended to make you stress out. If you're stressed, then you're not going to be able to find the right play and the right opening because you'll be stuck in your head. But if you're relaxed and loose and not stressing, then you're going to find these openings, and that's going to lead to a lot more wins. I mean, hey, if you need to play with your shirt off to relax, then you can play with your shirt off, right? Sometimes whatever you can do. I've heard some individuals say what helps them to get a clear, fresh mind is to go take a shower and then come back and then feel refreshed and renew mentally. Oh, man. And there you go. Teammates can surprise you. You never know when your teammates will pop off. And when that opening creates it, that's when you should put, and that push, and that's when you win fights. That's how you win. Now, you don't necessarily always have to be on each other's hands and calm and sweat, but you can vibe, and that's really the premise of today. If you want to win, you got to be able to relax. And if you relax, you got to rely on fundamentals. If your fundamentals just aren't there, then you're not going to win. Like, his gut reaction the minute he saw they were crafting is to jump pad and then push immediately. And you know that he's going to get the jump because they're busy on the crafter, right? That's patience. You even notice here, let's highlight this real quick. Look at that. This is an interesting thing he did here. Slowing down the fight whenever he was whiffing. 1 whiff, 2 whiff. Pause in a second. Ready? There's like a slight pause there where he reset, right? There it is, to reset the shot. Right there, you saw it. You're resetting just to ensure you can land the bullets. You whiff sometimes. It happens to all of us. And this is an example that it happens to all of us. But it doesn't mean you can't just take a breather, relax, let's reset again. And when you reset, you create an opening. And that's what you're looking for. Now, creating an opening and just taking your shots, this is another really great tip to win. And regardless of him landing a lot of shots, he's going to go for these shots. Don't be afraid to shoot at a distance. And if you don't have enough ammo, make sure you do. And if you're afraid that you're going to run out, then practice shooting these loadouts at a distance. And that's going to net you a pretty positive net return. Because even if you land 30 damage, that's still better than landing no damage. So don't be afraid to just unload and take your shot. And whenever you do, then you'll net out ahead. Now, trying to be the first one to get your elimination is always going to be key. You'll notice that the conduit, pretty much, you got the jump on the conduit and was able to win the fight. That damage discrepancy, even at the start, even if it's 10, 20 damage, is everything. So you can understand to win, you need to mitigate damage. So again, I want to thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Be sure to go showcase some love on Leamonhead socials, and we'll see you guys all in the next one. Bye, everybody.